View of the left half. So we have all this white here representing the arborvitae, white matter tracts that form a commissure within what's called the vermis, or the cerebellum. The commissure here connects the two hemispheres of the cerebellum. This being the left hemisphere, the ridges forming the fovea, the ridges are the fovea of the cerebellum. The space in here is the fourth ventricle, which connects inferiorly to the central canal of the spinal cord, and superiorly to the cerebral aqueduct of the midbrain. Anterior to it, we have the medial view of the left cerebral peduncle, and posterior to it, we see two of the four colliculi. So these two little bulges back there. The lower bulge is the left inferior colliculus. The upper bulge is the left superior colliculus. So there are four bulges, four colliculi making the corpora quadrigemina of the midbrain. So midbrain, with the cerebral aqueduct going right through the midbrain. Follow the cerebral aqueduct up, and it opens up into the third ventricle. So all that's filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Central canal, fourth ventricle, cerebral aqueduct, third ventricle, all filled with cerebrospinal fluid. What we can't see is into the left lateral ventricle. Why? Because it's covered by a membrane called the left septum pellucidum. But on the other side of this membrane is a bigger space, the left lateral ventricle, also filled with CSF. Now, separating third ventricle from that left lateral ventricle is the left fornix here. So each fornix together, the two fornices, form a roof over the third ventricle. Now within the third ventricle, we have thalamus, epithalamus, hypothalamus. So epithalamus would be this entire pink structure here. The base of the pink structure is the pineal gland or pineal body. Extending upward from it is the habenula, which is an olfactory pathway. So together, pineal gland or pineal body plus habenula, that's the epithalamus. Thalamus would be this bulge under the habenula, including the intermediate mass of the thalamus into thalamic adhesion. That's a commissure that extends left and right through the center of the third ventricle. It connects the two hemispheres of the thalamus. There are two large hemispheres of the thalamus that you can't see in a mid-sagittal section. Anterior posterior to the thalamus, we come to the hypothalamus right here. Anterior, inferior. I saw that weird, like, wait a minute, I replay what I said. Anterior, posterior makes no sense. So anterior, inferior to the thalamus, we have the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus continues posteriorly there's the left of two mammillary bodies. It also continues inferiorly as the infundibulum and as the posterior pituitary. The anterior pituitary is a true gland. It's completely separate from hypothalamus. By the way, this model shows the infundibulum extending directly from the optic chiasm. That's a mistake. The infundibulum extends from hypothalamus behind the optic chiasm, so they've got it too far forward on it. And they also make no attempt to differentiate between posterior and anterior pituitary. But keep in mind, infundibulum goes to the posterior, not to the anterior. Let's see, here we have the left half, medial view of the left half of the corpus callosum, the biggest commissure of them all, connecting the two cerebral hemispheres. And what else? We have the left parietal occipital sulcus here, this groove separating the occipital lobe from the parietal lobe. So that's only visible medially. You cannot see a parietal occipital sulcus out here. So this view does reveal the left cerebral peduncle with the midbrain and brainstem. It also reveals the pons varolii of the hindbrain and brainstem, and reveals the medulla oblongata of the hindbrain and brainstem. So midbrain, corpora quadrigemina and cerebral peduncles, plus brainstem, plus pons and medulla, that whole combination is the brainstem. Midbrain, pons, medulla, that's brainstem. Let's see, medullary pyramids. Put this back together. Oops. So that's back together like so. You should have two little bulges here. Well, this one shows a bulge. This one not so much. So you'd have a left and a right medullary pyramid. They are joined. The medulla is one object, and this has been split mid-sagittally. So the two medullary pyramids are the anterior bulges of the medulla oblongata. This view also reveals a couple of other goodies, such as the cerebral peduncles. You can see them in here. There's the right one in there. The left one you can't quite get to because the pituitary is in the way. What else? The left and right optic nerve meeting midline at the optic chiasm. The left and right optic tract continuing over to the left and right olfactory tract, continuing to the end here and here as the left and right olfactory bulb. So olfactory bulbs, olfactory tracts, optic nerves, optic chiasm. And can we see an optic tract? This one's actually better for it. The problem is that the infundibulum and pituitary are in the way. So we've got other models that will show the optic tracts more clearly. So well, this is of course the left temporal lobe. So here we have what? Separating the temporal lobe from the frontal and parietal lobe. Left lateral fissure, right here. Left lateral fissure in here. What else? The central sulcus, not very clear on this model. Not a really obvious central. Oh, this one has one. This one has an obvious central sulcus, separating the frontal lobe from the parietal lobe. Definitely shows the right central sulcus here. Here, I'll actually put them together. We have the sagittal suture, which goes all the way down to the corpus callosum. It's deep. It's a deep fissure. It's a sagittal fissure. Here, we have the transverse fissure between the occipital lobes and the cerebellum. I don't think there's anything else on here that we assign. Anything you expect